When people hear the word tsunami, they often think of a great wave of water forming to take down everything in its path. However, there's a new tidal wave forming, and this time it stands to wipe out the very foundation of our younger generation. The tsunami is the lack of confidence in students in themselves and in their work, and it's growing taller and taller every day. Lack of confidence is rampant in today's society, but if we take steps to reduce its impact on our younger generation, we can ensure a more vibrant, fearless future. It all rests in how we perceive the world around us and how we choose to handle it within ourselves. One of the main contributors to the lack of confidence in students in themselves and in their work comes from the barrage of outside voices telling them that they simply aren't good enough. Organizations such as bullyingstatistics.org estimates that 1 in 4 students has been subjected to some form of verbal degradation in school, work, or home. However, voices telling you that you won't measure up come from more than just conventional bullies. It can come from well-meaning parents trying to push you forward, teachers laying on the pressure to make you reach your full potential, or even the friends you surround yourself with who compete against you and don't even realize the detrimental words that they're saying. But why do we put so much value on those voices? What about the words flowing from their mouths is considered so superior that we would take that negativity and ingrain it as part of our identities? With constant voices telling them that they aren't good enough, it's no wonder students constantly feel like they can't measure up. So what can we do to block out all of these voices? It's easy. Choose not to listen. Now, I'm not saying to ignore your teachers or parents when they tell you to bring up a failing grade in a class, nor am I telling you to block out friends who are genuinely trying to help. But filter out the voices intended to tear you down and instead focus on the ones meant to build you up. Stop forcing yourself to rotate around somebody else's axis of expectations of what you are supposed to be, and know that you and your best work are all that you ever have to measure up to. But what can we do to counteract the other voices telling us we aren't good enough? Ourselves. While outside chatter plays a massive role in affecting how students view themselves and their work, an even greater level of negativity comes from within our own minds. When dedicated, hardworking individuals, like those that come out of FBLA, put their minds to something, it is almost guaranteed that they are striving for perfection. However, given the nearly impossible to obtain nature of perfection, we often find ourselves coming up short. This in turn leads to a destructive downward spiral of self-degradation and convincing ourselves that somehow, despite all of our hard work and commitment, we are failures. Statistics report that 95% of students have felt inferior in some way at school, work, or home. 95% of students that convince themselves that somehow they weren't good enough. As much as I wish it wasn't true, I used to fall into this statistic. People assume that when you're a public speaker, willing to put your mind and your heart on the floor in front of an audience, that you must feel no fear, but that simply isn't true. For years, I would force myself to put on a mask whenever I stepped in front of an audience to convince them that I was assured in what I was doing and that I most certainly did not listen to the voices telling me that I would never measure up. But I did. And what I've learned over the years is that the voices inside of your mind telling you that you aren't talented and successful are liars. As long as you are putting your all into what you do, you are enough. I never thought the shy, scared little girl with the speech impediment would be able to stand in front of a room and speak her mind. But here I stand in front of you today. I implore you, block out the voices, banish the insecurities, and know that you and all of your work is utterly fantastic. Lack of confidence is a tsunami that has swept through our young students in a catastrophic way we never could have imagined. But I beg of you, rise above this. Stop telling yourself that you are not good enough. Stop listening to the voices that would only try to tear you down, and know that you and everything you do is enough. And that is all that you ever have to be. Whether you come in second or third or dead last, when it feels like all of your work has amounted to nothing, you are enough. Thank you.